Hello, everyone. We welcome you to this new edition of News You Can Use. And we're glad to be here at LaSalle TV. I'm Thera Martin, your host. And today we're dedicating the whole show to talking about a wonderful program that former City of Philadelphia Fire Commissioner Lloyd Ayers is involved with. He's going to be doing some wonderful training to get people on track with making a difference, I believe, in the community. And in the second portion of the program, we're going to pick his brain a little bit about Black History Month and Black history as it relates to African American firefighters in the city of Philadelphia. So stay along for the ride. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, hello once again, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this edition of News You Can Use. I'm Thera Martin, glad to be with you at LaSalle TV. This program is broadcast on Comcast Channel 56 and on Verizon Fios Channel 36, and we are proud to be a part of the lineup this season. And now, joining me in the studio, I'm so glad to see you, Fire Commissioner. I still got to call you Commissioner, Commissioner Lloyd Ayers. Good to see you, sir.
It's so good to see you, Thera.
Yes, now retired, but we certainly appreciate your years of faithful, dedicated, committed service to the city of Philadelphia.
Well, thank you. It was a blessing to be able to serve.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
And I have to make note that the Fireman's Show that is continuing to broadcast here at LaSalle TV, you were the genius that got that show started here?
Well, absolutely, but I'll take the point on it. But it was a group of great folks in fire prevention and with connections and just wanting to make sure that we got more to the public. They put it together, I rallied around it, and it was really nice, and it continues to be a great show.
Then your first time coming here was as a guest for Paul Perello's show?
That is correct.
That's the story?
Yes.
Okay, my first time coming here, I was a guest on Reverend Todd Johnson's show. Okay. And I always try to remember now and again to say thank you, Reverend Todd, for being so kind to invite me to be a guest, and then meeting Tanya Ellis, professor here at LaSalle, the one who runs this cable channel, and asking her, might I have a possible chance of doing a show? And lo and behold, she said, oh, let me think about it. And then she gave me an opportunity. And I've been around like an old penny. I keep showing up once a month to do a couple of shows, and I'm thankful for the opportunity.
Well, Professor Ellis has done a great job and sent so many students on to just great things. That's a positive thing. And we had an opportunity, and it's about educating.
Yeah, and I think it's a smart move that LaSalle did make to allow a few people from the community a few slots, because we know that this is really all about the young people, the students from LaSalle University, to learn their craft of broadcast journalism. This is for them. This station is for them. But then to let some of us from the community get in and do some community-focused shows is a great opportunity for us, too, to share news that you can use with the community.
Well, the citizens are all the better for it. During that period of time, we saw a dramatic decline in fires and fire deaths, so it was very positive.
Yeah, I know you got to be proud about that.
Absolutely.
And now, let's get down to the business of what I really asked you to come in for today, and that's to talk about this training you have coming up. Interesting enough, I left my notes over there with the boots that I took off when I came in the studio, so I don't have my notes in front of me now, so you'll have to guide me through this.
Absolutely.
But I know you've got training coming up, it's for the community, and it will teach people how to roll out projects?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. It's for project management.
Yes.
And the training is going to happen at the Old Berean Institute, which is now the Philadelphia Technician Institute for Training.
Yes, they've been guests on this show.
Oh, absolutely. A great team of men and women over there that just does an excellent job in preparing our youth and our adults to get out there into the trade world and just have a great time. So it's excellent partnering with them.
Okay. Well, I am glad that Berean is being utilized again. First of all, I was
Yes.
so thrilled when I
Yes.
heard that Sherman and his partner purchased the building, and they brought life, they breathed life back into it, and they've got accredited training that they're doing there.
Yes.
And then for you to open up the doors so that you can do your classes there. Now tell us about these classes. Is it a one-shot deal? Do people come every week for a series of weeks? How's it going to work?
It's going to be 6 weeks on Saturday from 8 to 12, and it's a project management class. And they're going to come in and they're going to learn every aspect of project management in its basic form. So it's not going away to get a 2-year degree in project management. It's to teach the community leaders and community groups, churches and others, how to use project management so that they can have more successful projects in their different programs that they have for the community.
Okay, so let me use an example. I'm the business quarter manager for North 22nd Street. And one of the projects that we have ongoing right now, we're partnering with the Community Design Collaborative, and they are an entity that comes from Center City, Philadelphia, and they go to all parts of the city we're asked to help business quarters like ours to beautify, to do a little better, to fix up some properties, and they bring in professional architects and designers and this and that and the other, and they come away with amazing projects. Now you gotta raise the money to make the projects happen. They'll give you the ideas, they'll bring the professionals in to do the architectural renderings and all of that, but at the end of the day, we still have to come up with the money to roll out the complete project. So phase one of the project was having the Community Design Collaborative people come and walk up and down 22nd Street Business Corridor. It's a 5-block arena, and look and take notes, and we're taking pictures and all that. And then the next phase, over the past summer of 2017, we had students from Dobbins High who came and worked with me for 6 weeks and with the professionals from the Community Design Collaborative, teaching the students about how you take an old ugly eyesore and turn it into something beautiful, how you take a vacant lot and make that into something, and all of that. So then that phase was completed, and now we had some community meetings with adults from the neighborhood and stakeholders, some business owners, all of that, and they put their feedback into the mix of the project and everything. But so now we're at the stage really where it's about, okay, where's the money? Once we come up with the money for a couple of the ideas that they rolled out, we can make happen. Now, the ones where we're talking about, really gutting out a building and stuff, that one is more further down the line, but there's a couple of things that they gave us that we can actually run with and make a reality, prayerfully the summer of 2018. So you would teach community folks or people like me, because I can still use help too, on how to really manage the project and make it stronger?
Absolutely. What you just talked about with the cost, that's one of the things that a project manager has to ask. How much will it cost?
Yes.
So, and you also talked about many of the things that we'll teach. The project plan itself, just understanding the planning process, making sure that the project is coordinated and controlled, and then finally how to end the project. Because some people, they'll be on a project and it'll go on and on and on, just consuming resources and not really getting the initial goal taken care of. So that's what this class will be about. You'll be able to come in, learn what all project managers ask, what do they do along the way. You'll go through all of the phases of a project, and then finally learn how to end a project. So you get it done in a 6-week period of time. So
it's going to be a dynamite class.
We're going to have some fun.
Wow, I know that it's going to be good. Now, let me just skip ahead to the end of the class real quick and ask you this. So at the end of a project, I would guess or think that in most instances, there should be some kind of a report, an end report or something?
Absolutely.
All right, I got it. Okay.
A report of every phase of the project. You'll grade it as to whether it was successful, not successful. You have all of the things that worked well, the things that didn't work well, and you create a portfolio and you put it in your file. And now we use computers, of course, with all of the documents, but you have a file that tells you how that project went. So when you have another project that's similar or maybe even the same,
refer back.
You come back
Don't
and now
reinvent the wheel.
You have an opportunity to do it that much better. But that's what it's all all about.
Okay, we are talking with Lloyd Ayers, and I know that many of our viewers know your face already. He is now retired, a Philadelphia City Fire Commissioner, and he did a tremendous job while in that position. In fact, used to host his own show here at LaSalle TV. That program continues today with a variety of hosts from the Philadelphia Fire Department, and we're just so glad that you came up with that idea. But today he comes to us wearing a different hat. So while retired, like every other retired person I know, they get involved and start doing other wonderful things in the community, which is what I'm looking forward to doing as well.
Well, one of these things that I do is being a part of Friends of Chalmers Park. And Friends of Chalmers Park, we've come together to put on the project management for not just our organization, but for all organizations. We're going to be in receivership of funds to take care of the park, which is located at 29th and Chalmers Avenue, which you're familiar with. You've been there so many times.
Many fun times.
Yes, absolutely. And we're going to manage it, continue to maintain it, and build it out. Some of the vision that we have for the area is to redo the building that's on the property now, make sure that we have education, we have computer classes, things like that for the children in the community, and also the opportunity to do the sports that they have there now, football, youth football, baseball, things like that. So that's what this whole project management piece is about. Being able to plan out the vision and then bring the vision to fruition. I'm
thinking as you're speaking and talking and sharing with us, I'm thinking about Denise Williford. Hi, Denise, if you're out there checking us out right now. Denise, also Whitaker, thank you.
Yes.
Both of you ladies. Denise Williford is the president of the Community Action Group, and she sent me an email that I received earlier today before taping this show with you, asking for folks to come out to a community meeting to talk about the Friends of Chalmers Park and doing some things over there and becoming more supportive of what happens there. And then I also think about Panatti Rec Center, where I'm tied into Panatti because of my commitment with Allegheny West Foundation and all that. And it's so challenging sometimes because while it's Panatti Recreation Center, that's the name, and people in the community think of recreation centers as places where you can go and they're open from 8 in the morning until 9 at night, and there's staff there and all of that. We don't have staff that's officially on duty there a full-time day, an 8-hour day or 9-hour day. And so I always desire to do more and to let people understand, though, how you can utilize Panatti Rec Center, community, nonprofit meetings, things of that nature. Just let us know. We'll let you in. Are you all similar, or do they have a full-time staff that's a city employee over at Chalmers Park?
No, we don't have a full-time staff, but this is what this is all about.
Right.
What project management, just learning that skill will do, it'll allow you to stop and look at your goals, look at what you really want to accomplish, lay it out in a fashion that you can know what it's going to be, plan it, lay the plan out, lay the execution of the plan out, and what it's going to, what it will look like when it's ended. When you package those things together, now you can present to people who can give you funds, grants, etc. And they see that these people are planning these projects, and if you plan a project out, you have more opportunity to have a success. So that's what this is about. But how much will it cost? We would factor all of those things in. What does it cost to have a full-time rec staff on this location, taking care of the location, taking care of the children that come and enjoy it.
And the councilperson for Chalmers Park will be Councilman Curtis Jones Jr.
Yes,
and I know he's committed. I'm sure he's going to do whatever he can to get that staff in there to do that. Over on our side of the world, it would be Councilwoman Cindy Bass. She's working to do Panatti and make it better than ever before, too. She used to play there as a kid, so we've got that connection. We're going to continue our program in just a moment. We will have Lloyd Ayers back with us as we come into the second part of the show. We're going to continue to shine the spotlight on him. Stay with us.
Oh my god, I can't believe what this girl is wearing. Ugh, why would she even go outside wearing that?
Why would he say that? Oh my gosh, do I really look that bad?
Why would I say that? Why would I be so mean?
I don't understand why people can be so cruel. I just wish you'll apologize to me.
I probably just ruined this girl's day. I have to apologize to her. I have to make this right. It's the right thing to do.
Hey, I'm sorry for what I said back there. That was really
It's
mean
okay.
of me. I'm really sorry.
Oh, thank you for apologizing.
We are back as this edition of News You Can Use continues. And if you just turned your television set on, well, let me just say one more time, or rather, we'll have our guest, Lloyd Ayers, say one more time about a training program he has coming up that's starting very soon. So let's do that, and then we're going to talk about some Black history. Okay.
The training starts on March 3rd, which is this coming Saturday. 6 consecutive weeks. You'll get your certificate that you attended the training, and you're going to come away with a wealth of knowledge related to project management. So we're looking forward to have, and there's only 30 students, so if you're going to be
Hurry up and
involved
sign
with it,
up.
you need to sign up.
Okay,
Yeah.
and also the classes will be at the old Berean Institute on that corner of 19th and Girard. The exact address is 1901 West Girard Avenue.
Yes.
And the name on the building now, because it's newly revived and owned by
Yes.
2 gentlemen, but it's now called the Philadelphia Technician Training Institute.
Yes.
And so you will be at the right place if you come there, 1901 West Girard Avenue, starting on March the 3rd. But you need to pre-register now because only 30 seats are available. So
Yes.
people need to call or email or what?
They can call the number at 215-834-2107.
Say it again.
215-834-2107, and that'll get your seat.
Okay, and it's actually sponsored by the Friends of Chalmers Park.
Friends of Chalmers Park, yes.
That is great. That is great. That is good news, good news, good news. I don't want people to go to Chalmers Park knocking on the door of that building thinking that's where the classes are. 'Cause
Oh,
that's
no,
not where they're
yeah.
going to be. 1901 West Girard Avenue. That's where you want to come for project management training.
Yes.
And that'll make all of us that much better. Those of us who have a vision to do something, want to make a difference in the community, you can start by taking this class. But again, 30 seats available, so you better hurry up and be in touch now with Lloyd Ayers, our former City of Philadelphia Fire Commissioner. That Lloyd Ayers, yes, that's him, sitting right next to me. He's teaching this class. It's going to be dynamite. So we
Looking
thank you for
forward to
sharing
it.
that. Now, in the waning moments of the show, the time that we have left for this edition of News You Can Use, I would like for you to share a little bit of African American history with us about the fire department as it relates to who was the first African American firefighter, or was there a challenge getting African Americans to be on the fire department force? Like, I know there was a challenge with the police department, it was a challenge with SEPTA, it was a
Yes.
challenge with Greyhound and so many other companies.
Yes, absolutely. the fire service, African Americans that went into the fire service, we've been challenged for the entire history of the country. We stop and look back and about Philadelphia specifically, and in 1826, right around 1826, we had 3 firefighters who, well, African Americans who wanted to start the African American Firefighter Association. They wanted to fight fires within their community. As a matter of fact, the community was right around near 6th and South in that area, which was an all-black area many, many years ago. So when they started, they were not allowed to practice or to use the fire plugs or anything else. So they actually stopped the process of becoming firefighters and starting their own fire company because they couldn't.
Wait a minute. I think I must have misunderstood something you just said. You're telling us, our viewers and I, that there was a time in the history of Philadelphia when African Americans wanted to be firefighters, and they were told they couldn't even use the fire hydrants?
Plugs, or anything. And it actually got so bad.
Fight a fire if you can't get to water.
It actually boiled over into riots and everything, and the white community telling them that if they did, that they would come into the community, they'd burn their own houses, their houses down. So James Forden, who was a very important—
I know that name.
Yes, he was a sailmaker, and he lived in Philadelphia. He actually had to go in and calm everybody down, and they had the African American firefighters, or those who wanted to be firefighters, they had to apologize to the white community for causing all of the problem, and that was it. Years later, in 1896, we have Isaac Jacobs, who was the first Philadelphia firefighter.
Black firefighter?
Black firefighter, yeah. He was the first Philadelphia black firefighter. And he came in and he didn't actually fight fires. He actually tended horses and things like that. But they brought him in and he joined the Philadelphia Fire Department.
But they wouldn't let him really fight a fire.
No, no.
He got to take care of the horses.
Yeah, a little later on we did have firefighters that came in and that did fight fires in the city. So we move forward, we think about the Valiants, groups of firefighters who started to come in over the years. And in 1962, the Valiants was formed, and it was as a social group, because in 1952, the fire department got desegregated. And before it was desegregated, what happened was you had all of the firefighters at Engine 11 or Fireboat 1. That's the only place they could go.
The black firefighters.
The black firefighters. That's the only place black firefighters could go. And the Valiants was formed because when they sent them everywhere after desegregation, they went to different firehouses. They missed each other. They weren't together as they used to be, so they formed a social organization. And out of that social organization, they started to stand up for their rights and civil rights and things like that. So we had many, Sam Singleton was lieutenant at that time. He was the one that started the Valiants in his basement.
I was named an honorary Valiant. I got a Valiant's jacket that they gave me, and I have my badge at home. And it was about a week or so ago, my grandson, he saw it because it's in like a little black leather little case. And so he said, "What's this?" And while he's asking what's this, he's opening it up. And he says, and he read it, and he says, "You were a firefighter?" I said, "No, grandson, I was an honorary." And he cracked up. Yeah, and that was when Claude Smith was the president.
He was the president.
Yeah.
I remember very much.
Well, I love the history. Thank you for sharing. And people just don't know. People don't know. But also, there is a firefighters museum. In Philadelphia, and I think that's like a secret. Like, not enough people know. I don't think. Well, Philadelphia is a city of museums, if you really get to it. And now I happen to be a person who loves going to museums because I love history. So yeah, I know about it. I've been there a number of times over the years. But there is a firefighters museum.
At 2nd and Quarry Streets. You go there, you come in, you learn so much. Fire prevention, You learn about the history. You see all of the equipment and many pictures. And also there's a memorial there for all of the firefighters that lost their lives in the line of duty in the city of Philadelphia since we started. Yeah,
Okay.
so.
And so now the museum hours, were they weekend hours? Or?
No, they're weekday hours. You can go in 9 o'clock they start and as late as 5. And then on some of the special nights like First Friday, they may stay open a little later.
Okay. Yeah. So now in that museum, like the history that you just shared here?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
It's there?
Engine 11's history is there, yes.
Yes, thank
absolutely.
you. I'm glad to hear it. I'll never forget, over 15 years ago, I was working in the cable television industry full-time, working for Wave Cablevision, in fact, and I got sent to the Cable Museum. The National Cable Museum, upstate Pennsylvania is where it is. And when I went into the museum, there was all this history and stuff on the walls, but there was nothing about Mr. Wade, Jim Wade, who was the first African-American to own a cable company in Philadelphia, and I was very upset that his picture was not up there on the wall with all of these other folks who had started cable this, cable that, cable the other in different parts of the state of Pennsylvania. And I would hope and pray that if I were to go back to that museum these 15 years later, that finally at last the history of Jim Wade, whether he kept the company or not, because ultimately he did sell it. He sold it to, not to Greater Media Cable, to Comcast. Ultimately Comcast owns about everything. But yeah, it was interesting that it wasn't there back then.
I had an opportunity to meet him many years ago.
Yeah, got to work for him for a little bit of time. But I thank you for coming to share today. And one more time, one more plug on the classes coming up.
It's March 3rd, classes start, 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, 6 consecutive Saturdays. You come out, it's going to be at 1901 Girard Avenue, the old Berean building at Philadelphia Technician Training Institute.
All right, and if you want more information, folks, you can call 215-834-2107. That's 215-834-2107 so that you can get signed up. There's only 30 seats available, so if you think you're interested, you better jump on this number now. I want to thank you for coming by and being on our guest on the show and coming back over here to LaSalle where everybody loves you. You got it all started with us.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for us in this edition of News You Can Use, everybody. Stay tuned. More great programming coming your way.